I remember Leslie from last year's tournament. And they're off.
And conveniently, we start with World 7, which I guess at least we get it out of the way early.
Yep. And it looks like they're gonna have to go through 7-1 now.
Yeah. The problem with having it first is you're guaranteed not to have a cloud or a hammer.
Oh, 6-9 for the beginning. Ooh!
Ouch.
Ooh, Leslie tried to get the wall clip pixel in it. Looks like he's gonna try again.
Why not? It's painful otherwise. But then there's the how many times do you try before you just...
Right.
Yeah, I guess 3 strikes and you're out is what Leslie figures.
Looks like it. I have to say, too, like, after watching the Warpless, everyone do Warpless so often, it got to the point where I actually forgot what this level looks like normally, just because I always see everyone P-wing it. Ooh, and Leslie taking an unfortunate death.
Yeah, and Sabo makes it through on his first try.
There we go, Leslie gets it on his second attempt. There's a boss
With
bass.
Boss Bass swimming around there. Okay, he escapes.
sab0tender taking a moment to decide what he wants to do.
And decides, oh, 7-2 is 7-9, at least it's in the right world.
And that fire chain.
Unfortunately, it's still 7-9. It's really
Yeah.
obnoxious any way you slice it.
I guess we should point out right now, they're currently going through the first tournament flags, which, if any of you have watched the tournament from last year, then this is exactly the same set of flags for this race. The only difference is that the anchor is truly randomized now instead of when it was with Froxy. sab0tender really getting nailed by those fire chomps.
And he decides to give up on that and go for 7-3, which looks like 1-6.
Yeah, I don't necessarily blame him. It may mean having to go through 2 stages to reach a pipe, but when the 1-stage alternative is 7-9, might be best for the sake of sanity to go for the other 2.
Yeah, this one does not have too many enemies, and certainly doesn't have fire-breathing chain chomps everywhere.
Looks like Leslie is actually getting through this level, though. So, that's good.
Second time's the charm.
Ooh, and
Oh, and we have
sab0tender.
a first-hand level.
Oof, and fireball directly to the face. Well, the good thing with this is once sab0tender finishes it, we'll get to see exactly what the hand levels are giving.
Unfortunately, he's on his last life now, and if he doesn't make it this time, he's gonna have to replay from the start.
Yeah. Okay, I think that might have been intentional. Ooh, I just noticed Leslie Pro's in 6-6.
Yeah, for
That's another bad
Water
level.
Worlds from World 6 everyone loves to hate, you've got your whole selection here.
And without any power-ups to work with, that's going to make these levels even harder.
sab0tender was not prepared for the bubbles coming out of the pipe. So let's see where Leslie's trying next. Ah, he's gonna go into 1-6.
Actually,
I have to go for 5-ups now.
oh.
sab0tender succeeds with the upper route there.
And Leslie gets out of 1-6.
Ugly start. Ugly start.
Oh. Let's switch back there. It looks like Leslie didn't mute his mic.
Oh, is that what we were hearing?
Yeah, I heard. As soon as I switched to audio, I heard a voice, and I thought it was you for a second.
Oh, I thought it was you.
Oops.
Well, good thing for us to be aware of.
Yep. I have to agree, Miguel, though. This seed is definitely pretty brutal to start.
But Leslie gets a cloud, which means all 3 hand levels will have clouds as they come up. So that's a really nice bonus for the runners.
Oh, definitely. Leslie picking up a quick mushroom as well.
Its contents may help him on his way, but it's not the greatest reward. Oh, that's unfortunate that Sabo's giving up on the hand level and going through 6-5 instead. I'm guessing he'd probably rather be in the hand now that he sees what the alternative is.
Yeah. Alright, Leslie managing to navigate the Piranha level, and receives a star for his effort.
And it's worth noting that the Piranha levels are always guaranteed to be vanilla in these settings.
Right, the only thing randomized is the items that they can receive at the end. Ooh, and Leslie is in one of the beta stages.
Ooh.
And sniped by the very last enemy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, depending on the enemies, sometimes you can just run straight through it, but this is not one of those days.
Ooh, and mistimed that jump, so he ran straight into the fire snake.
And now he's on his last life.
Oh, okay, so it looks like sab0tender is gonna have to go through the hand level regardless.
But at least that time he manages to get rid of those Hammer Bros and gets a power-up too.
Yep.
And we
I'm
see
sure.
everyone's...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, we see everyone's favorite, the suicidal Hammer Bro.
Yeah. I feel like sab0tender's probably happy to see that they're getting clouds from hands.
And he's going the Fortress route.
I believe that is the...
5 Sky?
Yeah, I believe so. Oh, look at this. Leslie Pro's going for some extra lives. Fortunately, that's not gonna work.
And sab0tender's not being very careful with the Potaboos.
Alright, so Leslie Pro's in 1-4. Okay, so he's actually skipping the power-up block. Actually, I wonder if he even knows that that power-up block is there.
Oh, that's definitely a bit of a godsend, getting rid of that lock, so that if sab0tender does have to restart again, he can skip over quite a few levels.
Right. Look at that jumbled, Angry Sun.
Yeah, that's been happening a lot lately, I've noticed.
I notice it happens a fair amount whenever they have the Sun and Boss Bass in the same level. Okay, so Leslie's in the 1 fort. Oh,
Ooh.
and patches the clip in the edge of the floor in the wrong way. Now he's gonna have to go all the way back.
sab0tender, unfortunately, unable to get any items out of the end card game.
And it leads to the troll pipe.
That pipe is just, like, evil. I always hated it when I was playing the game as a kid. It's like, how horrible can the devs be? Like, aesthetically, it's just wrong. It's at a half
Right.
spot.
Okay, so Leslie's actually using his cloud for skipping 6-9. And sab0tender taking an unfortunate death at the end of the piranha level.
All it takes is one mistimed jump, unfortunately.
I wonder if sab0tender is aware of the pause strats for the little munchers.
Gets a star for his trouble. And I'm guessing he's not because, like, I was talking with him after the race yesterday and he wasn't even aware of the Bowser hitbox glitch.
Ah, okay.
I'm assuming he's since practiced it, and we'll see it when he gets to Bowser today.
Right. Taking an unfortunate hit on that fire snake.
Well, that's the one that did in Leslie as well.
There we see the suicidal Koopa again. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Since the hand had to be replayed, Leslie actually got his cloud back, so he basically got to skip 6-9 for free.
Good deal. Yeah, I didn't think about that either.
sab0tender going in to grab an item as well.
Ooh, Tanuki suit. Nice.
That should help him.
Other than based on last night, he kind of likes to do the swag statue moves with it.
Oh boy. Overshot the pipe at the end a little bit, but thankfully nothing there to kill him. Admittedly, I'm a little surprised he didn't try to go for the 5 lives.
Well, if he has... Oh. Starman rather than...
Yeah,
so he can't get the item.
Fortunately.
But he's being a bit more patient than Leslie here, and not getting knocked into anything, even if it takes a bit longer.
Right.
Well, Leslie does have a leaf, so maybe he will show us what the item is for this level.
Looks like we will get to see it. sab0tender killing off Boom Boom. And Leslie gets a music box. Fortunately, not very useful, but at least he was able to get a little bit faster.
Ooh, didn't quite do that jump, and Leslie takes the lead.
Ooh,
And gets a hammer!
That'll be helpful.
Yeah, if sab0tender gets through, I'm sure he'll be happy to see that. When all else fails, use a star. And here's Ludwig. And only takes 1 hit, so...
That's nice. And that's, I believe that's the World 2 airship right there that they were in.
Yeah, looks right. So we'll get to see what the Tanuki message is, I guess. And the king on Leslie's side thinks he's Ronald Reagan.
I was wondering where that line came from.
Yeah, it's an old Ronald Reagan movie from back when he was an actor.
Ah, okay. Well, thankfully, since they have a hammer, they can actually they could break the lock at the start of World 1, skip half the world, so...
And both our runners are doing just that.
sab0tender passing what is affectionately called the Sand of Shame. Leslie surprisingly going the coin route instead of the power-up route.
And
Okay, so Leslie is now in 3-8.
which has a vanilla boss bass in it. Last night, when 3-8 came up, it did not have the boss bass, which makes it a whole lot easier.
Definitely. sab0tender going back in for the end card. Okay, managed to pair up a mushroom and a flower. Not checking to see what he got, though.
Leslie gets a star from a nice simple hammer bro and is on to the castle. Airship. Airship and castle.
Which I believe that is actually the World 1. Yes, that is actually the World 1 airship.
Fred!
Oh, where did that cannonball come from? Okay, and it looks like it's a 2-hit Larry. Earthquake.
And another Tanuki suit, and apparently what he was getting from the end card game was hammer suits, so...
Yeah, that's... Okay, that's gonna be pretty helpful then. And World 3 is actually World 3. So let's see
Is this even randomized?
Okay, so it looks like it's not World Free, but Leslie can... Ooh, Leslie gets a cloud from that hammer bro, too. So now Leslie can actually take care of that castle and see if that next pipe will lead straight to the airship.
Hoping that the next jump is the jump home. And they also got a cloud from the princess, so good opportunity to really collect clouds here. We'll see what levels they use them on.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, it looks like they're gonna have to go through the standard vanilla pipe to get to the castle.
On the bright side, at least that first pipe got them somewhere, so that cuts out 3 levels off the bat.
Also true. Alright, and Leslie is in 4-3, and ooh, manages to barely avoid getting hit by that shell. Okay, water hitbox apparently for Leslie, huh?
Yeah.
Alright, sab0tender finished his castle. Unfortunately, he's going to learn that he's gonna have to go back.
Yeah, I guess there's only been one hammer in the game, and both of our runners used it in World 1, which was the second world.
So it's
I
at
feel
least
dishonest saying World 1 when it came second.
right. So at least to their credit, it was a good use for that hammer. So speaking of hammers, now they got Leslie got another hammer, and sab0tender unfortunately takes a death in 4-3.
Yeah, I didn't seem to want to get a running start there.
And I believe Leslie is in a beta stage, and I believe it's supposed to be a somewhat beta of 5-3.
Yeah, what 5-3 would look like if half of it were underwater.
And it looks like Leslie is in, I believe this is
4-6.
The magic mirror level.
Though you almost never see speedrunners actually take the magic mirror.
And sab0tender wisely collects 5 lives in order to avoid any risk of game overing now.
Ooh, hits a big Bertha.
And Leslie is just now wrapping up 6-1 with an angry sun and managing to kill it on the last few frames of the Starman. Good news is, so the good news with that is Leslie managed to beat the world. The bad news is, unfortunately, the sun is dead, so we're all pretty much doomed.
Well, I choose to go with Little Orphan Annie's optimism that the sun will come out tomorrow.
True. And it looks like, I believe that was the World 4 airship that Leslie went through.
sab0tender being very careful or he will have wasted a cloud.
Okay, I think that was either 4 or 5 hit for Wendy.
It was a lot.
But thankfully Leslie was able to avoid the lifesavers of doom. As by Goop, would you like to buy a hammer suit?
I'll trade you a frog suit for it. And we have World 5 coming forth.
With the first level being 5-4, I believe.
And I was right, the sun would come out tomorrow.
Yep. And Leslie ends up in Atlantis, another of the beta stages. Okay, that's 4 hits, Wendy.
And Sabo almost managed to keep the Tanuki suit too. That's impressive.
Very impressive. So yes, Leslie is skipping it, the what we call Atlantis beta stage. And interesting fact, it is one of only 2 levels in the entire game that have to maintain their auto-scroller aspect. Otherwise, they would break the level and make them impossible to play.
Yeah, that and 5-9 with its diagonal movement.
Correct. So Leslie's wisely using a cloud and then going through the pipe, so that way, even if he dies, he doesn't have to worry about having to play that level anymore. Oh. sab0tender really sab0tender really risking the biscuit using P speed strats, flying, especially after getting caught up under one of those bars.
Loses the tail, but gets through.
Leslie clearing out a little bit of the end card. And it looks like... Interesting. I think the 20 coin turns into a hammer. So this may be a very generous seed.
Okay, I wasn't sure if the coins were still coins or if they turned into something. sab0tender's actually giving Atlantis a go, which will save him a cloud, but eat up quite a bit of time.
Right. I believe this auto-scroller takes about 70 seconds? So? Oh man, and with the Paragoomba on the right there, that could have been really troubling.
Leslie's working his way up the tower here.
Alright, sab0tender managing to get out of Atlantis. And Leslie is just about out of the tower.
Yes, in these rando settings, the tower will always be where you expect and you'll need to take it, though sometimes it can come in reverse and so you just have to go down a pipe to get to Skyworld.
Right. Leslie using a hammer to wisely skip a few levels in the top half, and a quick use of a hammer suit lets him take care of those Boomerang brothers pretty easily.
And sab0tender showing us the World 2 fort.
See, the good thing with this is that even if the worst case happens and sab0tender game overs, at least he'll have a bridge to where he doesn't have to actually worry about going through Atlantis again.
And meanwhile, Leslie's showing us just how effective the hammers are against fortress enemies. And also against Boom Boom himself.
Seven 6 for Leslie Pro. And it looks like he's trying for the cliff.
Ooh, a 1-up in the hammer level. That Starman usage turns out to be a very good call with the giant hammer bros. What's their official name? I never know what to call them.
The large ones are known as Sledge Brothers.
Ah, okay, thanks.
And Leslie manages to get the cliff. And collects an extra 5 lives to celebrate.
And sab0tender starts up the tower. Looks like we've got another French vanilla stage here for Leslie.
I believe that is 5-5? Ooh, I just realized that Paragoomba could have been a real problem in this stage too. Making him hard to jump on donut blocks that'll fall over would be a quick way ticket to death. Leslie is on to, I believe that is the World 7 ship.
Certainly long enough to be it. Ooh, nice duck under there.
Ooh, sab0tender doesn't have any hammers.
How did Leslie get an extra hammer? By dying and restarting?
I don't think so. I know one was the end card reward.
Oh, right.
But-
You said it was like the 20 coins, and Sabo hasn't gotten the 20 coins.
But there was something else, though, because Leslie ended up with 2 hammers. So I'm trying to figure out what that other one...
And it looks like Roy is exhibiting his vanilla behavior, too.
Yep. Oh, I think I remember now. I think sab0tender ended up skipping a hammer bro to maintain, in World 3, in order to maintain his, bridges. That might have been where the other hammer came from.
No, he clouded over a level to maintain his bridges. And Leslie is showing us that you don't have to worry about earthquake effects if you're not touching the ground.
Yep.
Ooh, 5-1.
Okay, so Miguel confirmed the other hammer did in fact come from a hammer bro, World 3.
Oh, okay. So I guess sab0tender just didn't face that hammer, bro.
Guess so. I think I had thought that sab0tender had died at some point, and that might have messed up the cycle, but if he clouded over a level, then that would have affected it too.
So with World 6 now in the spot of World 5, I guess the 2 remaining ones will have to be 2 and 4.
Right. Ooh. That cheap hitbox was super cheap.
But since it's the hand level, we know he's about to get another cloud, so we'll be happy to see that.
Ooh. And sab0tender ate the disco waffle.
And Leslie faces the famous H. The lowercase h, not to be confused with the level with the uppercase h.
Right. I believe this was 3-9.
Yeah, and the uppercase h is 6-8?
I believe you're correct.
I know it's late in World 6.
Ooh, interesting. It looks like one of Leslie's hammer brothers turned into a coin chip.
Well, you can see that he does have 88 coins, so he triggered it the old-fashioned way.
Okay, it looks like it was the 10 coin prize that is actually the hammer, not the 20. Okay. sab0tender wisely taking a death 7-6 to just P-wing over it, because small Mario, you're not able to actually get the clip. Ooh. Fortunately, Leslie taking an unfortunate death on that hammer brother.
Well, sab0tender's doing a good job remembering where stuff was from last time. Unfortunately, at this point, he's nearly a whole world behind.
Right. Losing out on that hammer definitely cost him a fair amount of time. And Leslie gets a music box for that hammer coin chip. And now Leslie is in, I think that is 6-2? It's either 6-2 or 6-3.
I was about to say the same thing, but I wasn't sure if it was 2 or 3.
sab0tender managing to handle the World 7 ship pretty easily with his tail.
And manages to stay off the ground when Roy quakes it.
Okay, and it looks like Roy was actually a 5-hitter. Well, Jizaku, thank you so much for that remark. Ooh, Leslie is in 6-4-2, I believe?
You know what's crazy? After we were discussing whether it was 6-2 or 6-3, I went and looked at maps of the two, and I still couldn't tell which one it was.
All I remember for sure is that it was an auto-scroller in vanilla.
Oh, nice job fireballing Boom Boom by Leslie.
sab0tender going through 1-5. Thankfully, did not blindly slide down like players tend to do when running it vanilla. Oh, speaking of 1-5, Leslie is in the 1-5 beta.
Which... the colors are just kinda weird.
So, sab0tender is currently in 3-9, and Leslie has just entered 7-7.
Seven is definitely a touch-and-go level, one mistimed star, and you're not gonna make it.
Oh, definitely. Especially with that very last pipe that you have to duck under.
And how you have to pick up the star right before it by circling around.
Right.
Oh, race game between the Hammer Bro and the ship. That's unfortunate.
Oof.
And Leslie is on the tank level.
That's another cloud. Ooh, okay, so Leslie was in the super tank. I know some people jokingly refer to it as the Marines. sab0tender going for the coin. And, ooh, interesting. He's actually, if there is another hammer ship around, Hammer Bro around, it might actually convert into a... Okay, he doesn't have... Interesting. Because, I just noticed he actually had what is needed to turn a Hammer Brother into another coin ship.
Yeah, just to remind our viewers, in case you don't remember that trick from playing the game as kids, the coins need to be a multiple of 11, and the timer needs to be even. Wait, no, sorry. The tens digit needs to match the multiple of 11.
Correct.
Which means if the timer's even, then it matches. If the timer's odd, then it needs to be off by 50.
Ooh, Lemmy and his little bouncing balls are causing trouble. But Leslie manages to get through. sab0tender having a little bit of trouble sliding into the gaps in the ice.
But he makes it through the important one.
Oh, Fred. For those who don't know, that the king's statement is referring to the Zelda 1 randomizer that Fred, aka F. Coughlin, had created as well.
Because he clearly has too much time on his hands, so he has to create multiple randomizers.
Yep. Okay, Wesley using a hammer to break through the lock in World 4, saving himself about, I believe that's another 3 levels. And it looks like sab0tender's not the only one who likes to use the swag with the Tanuki suit.
Sab0tender's collecting another 5 up to be on the safe side.
After how rough this seed
Ooh,
has been...
5-9, and Leslie just turns into a statue to
and just drops like a rock.
suicide in new and improved ways. Yeah, definitely time to use the cloud.
Oh, definitely. Especially with multiple clouds in his inventory, it is well worth the cost.
Is this 7-4 for Sabo?
I think... No. I think this is 3-5. So many jellyfish.
Yeah, I think you're right. Not quite as big a forest of Gelectros.
Alright, Leslie snagging yet another free life. And sab0tender is going through the super tank now.
Oh, sab0tender's gonna use Hammer Bro strats here on the airship.
Interesting. Now, for those who don't know, Hammer Suit do manage to kill Boom Boom with 1 hammer, and they can kill Bowser with only 5 hammers. However, they actually do not affect the Koopa Kids at all. For some odd reason, the developers, I guess, never expected you to have a Hammer Suit to deal with the Koopa Kid.
Which is odd, because the king does give a special message when you finish a world with the hammer suit, so they had anticipated that much.
Not only that, but in the World 7-8, they actually give you... Like, they have a special area in Vanilla where you can collect a hammer suit. So it's not like you physically can't receive a hammer suit beforehand. Well, not only that, you can pick them up pretty easily in World 6 as well.
Yeah. I mean, certainly the rarest power-up in the vanilla game, but if you know where to find it, you can get it easily enough.
As a kid, I always thought they were Eskimos because I only saw them in the ice world, so I just assumed they were Eskimos.
Hammer-throwing Eskimos. There we go.
And sab0tender still without a hammer, so he's going to have to go the long way.
And Iggy took 3 hits there, so pretty vanilla Iggy.
Okay, I think... Alright, so sab0tender should be able now to actually have a hammer. And unfortunately, he's not going to check his inventory.
Welcome to Movie Phone and nothing else. I was
still
waiting
don't-
for the punchline and it didn't come.
I was gonna say, I still don't get that reference.
I mean, it was a predecessor to Fandango.
Ah, okay. sab0tender opting not to go for the hidden item, 1-3. And Leslie managing to dodge the Fire Snake at the end of 4-1. Ooh, Leslie is in 7-2, and thankfully for him, he has a tail, so he can actually bypass that giant gap, which is covered in hidden music notes. So you would actually, if you fall in there, you would actually have to hit at least a few of the note blocks, and then you'd have to run back, and then jump over it again.
Oh, and Leslie almost had the condition for the coin ship again, was just 10 points shy.
Ooh, and sab0tender taking a quick death on those Fire Bros.
Speaking of coins, here's Leslie in Fort Knox. And is lucky enough to have gone in with a raccoon suit.
Okay, Shadow Man, Loonslice, thank you so much for explaining that to me. So, sab0tender going through 1-2 with a little cheap. And Leslie Pro going into 4-1. I mean, 3-1, sorry.
Yes, Movie Phone had a very authoritative voice, too. It was like, if you know the name of the film you want to see, press 1.
See, I didn't know about all that. I was born in the early 90s, so I never really had a time for that.
Oh, so you're younger than this game, in other words.
Actually, yes. I think about... if you go by Japanese release date, I believe by 3 years. Because I believe this came out in 89.
Yeah, it was 89 because SMB3 US came out in 88 because that was the whole thing about the first issue of Nintendo Power, which I still have.
I used to have a couple issues of the magazine, but then I ended up giving them away to a friend. Ooh, Leslie finishing up the quote-unquote the Oasis pretty easily. Which I believe he is in World 2. So that's a little French vanilla there too, as well. sab0tender collecting a few extra coins and getting another life.
Or not getting the life from the coins, not collecting the one up though.
Right. And he gets a Tanuki suit for his trouble.
Oh, and good old 1-1 now for Leslie.
With an angry sun as a backup.
Gotta make 1-1 a bit harder.
Oh goodness, Movie Phone lasted until 2012.
Wow!
That is actually surprising to me.
I think Fandango did acquire them at some point.
I wouldn't be surprised. Alright, looks like Leslie skipped over the pyramid. And is currently flying over the World 6 airship. There we go, sab0tender finally managing to clear out that card.
And that was a single hit Morton.
Interesting. Okay, sab0tender not going for the underground for pathway for this fort. Thankfully managing to dodge most of the enemies though.
And this latest king thinks he's Leonardo DiCaprio. Or no, that's Top of the World. King of the World is something from something else.
Ooh, Leslie is in 6-5 with an Angry Sun. Well, better the Angry Sun than Boss Bass. And only 2 Goombas up there, so he can actually clear through pretty easily.
Yeah, that was nice and lucky. Took the gamble of not bringing a Koopa shell up with him.
Okay, so King of the World is from Titanic.
Okay. Oh, so Top of the World is from something else. I always confuse the two lines.
Oh man, Shadow Man is a little sadistic. He likes to bring Boo into the Boom Boom. That's dangerous.
Okay, Top of the World Ma is from the 1949 movie White Heat. That's what I was confusing it with.
Okay. Okay, Leslie going with the typical damage boost strat. Thankfully managing to avoid the Disco Waffles and not take a hit. And there is an actual star there, so Leslie should be able to actually reach Boom Boom in time and get a quick kill.
With the upside down question mark.
Oh, I just realized that was a quick pipeline for World 8.
Yeah, wow, I had missed that too.
Okay, so Leslie is in with Hammer Suit and a star to get through the lasers pretty quickly. So, barring anything catastrophic, I feel like this first race is his to lose.
Yeah. And he gets the glitch the first try.
The Everyman clip. sab0tender into the Oasis.
And with proper aim, it'll be bye Bowser before you can even say hi Bowser.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yup. Down goes Bowser! Down goes Bowser!
Get your GGs out in the chat for Leslie Pro, who managed to finish with an official SRL time of 53:03. Ooh, and sab0tender slips down and takes a test. 1-1.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. And he probably just interview Leslie while we're waiting for sab0tender to finish, or just let him have a bit of a break before the next match?
I think typically when we're doing double headers, we usually let him take a break and then do interviews at the end of both races.
Okay.
That was a bit odd. Stream cut out on my end.
Yeah, it's having a bit of trouble on my end, too.
But it looks like we're back. Also, credit to sab0tender for continuing on despite the race already ending.
Well, they do have a bit of an incentive that, if the runners make it to brackets, their average finishing time factors into seeding, and if you forfeit, you're credited with a finishing time of 2 hours. So.
Okay, I actually did not know that that's how it worked with the bracket side.
Yeah, it's first done by record, and then I forget exactly what the tiebreakers are, but I know that average finishing time is one of the tiebreakers for bracket seeding.
Right. I'll have to keep that in mind then. I highly doubt I'll make brackets, but if just in case I do, I need to make sure I don't forfeit any more than necessary.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an hour and a half in and still on World 5, by all means forfeit, but...
Right.
sab0tender's not even at the hour mark, so...
Right, he's just coming into World 8, well.
And little does he know, but it's going to be a very fast World 8. Unfortunately, he's in here without a leaf, so he first needs to get one before...
Right. Oh, okay, so I don't think he's aware of the pipeline to get the power-ups. I don't think he would have taken that death if he knew about that.
Well, in any case, P-Wing is how I would always beat this level in the old days.
True. Now it makes me wonder, was it such a fast path because we didn't notice because it was after the Navy, or was it because Leslie had another hammer?
You mean after the Air Force?
No. Well, like just right there when sab0tender had that block that was blocking path, it makes me wonder if Leslie had another hammer, broke that, and that was the way in.
I'm just saying that the Air Force is where the Navy usually is.
Right, right. I was just thinking based on, like, actually what tile was there to begin with.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, well, once he takes care of Boom Boom, we'll see for sure. Okay, it does look like maybe Leslie did have a, maybe it looks like Leslie did have a hammer.
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Leslie wound up with quite so many hammers and sab0tender just basically had that one at the very beginning of the game.
I think...
Because Leslie hammered past so much... Yeah. And I haven't seen a hammer in Sabo's inventory since, like, World 3.
Actually, I'm a little curious because he finished the card, the end card, and one of the rare responses was a hammer, so maybe... I don't know, maybe he got one a little bit earlier.
Oh, or given where that pipe was that got him to the end... Maybe it was just that Leslie clouded through both of those levels, and sab0tender only just clouded through one?
That is possible, because I know Leslie did have quite a few, definitely had quite a few more clouds than sab0tender did.
Because he's now where Vanilla Super Tank would be.
Right. Alright, Boom Boom is gone, and now he's on to Final Castle. And opting not to use a star for the early part.
But he gets over them anyway.
Yep, so it didn't really matter.
Oh, didn't even try for the clip there. Leslie tried for the clip on top of that donut and missed, but sab0tender didn't try.
I know that clip is typically pretty hard.
Yeah, I saw someone do
Oh,
it the
and
other day, and I was impressed.
sab0tender did not go for the everyman clip either.
Yeah, I was asking him about that yesterday, and he said he just hasn't gotten good at it, so usually he doesn't want to waste time on it. But I don't know why he's now doing this and didn't go for, the top route.
I know, that is interesting. And I mean, the reason I'm really surprised about that with the everyman clip is because that one is a very easy one to do, as long as you're Big Mario. Well, either way, it looks like he's handling it pretty well right here. And I hope I did not just commentator's curse.
That's a lot of breath to jump over.
There we go.
Phew.
Hey, oh. Okay,
oh.
so... Well,
Got a bit too close there.
yeah, unfortunately he can't do the hammer strat. However, now we can see if he... Now let's see if he could put the hitbox thing to good use. There we go.
Yep.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about the fact that sab0tender might be somewhat new to the game in general.
Well, I'm sure he played it way back when, but I imagine he's been de-rusting lately.
Right.
And
Well,
new to speedrunning it in any case.
Alright, sab0tender manages to finish it. Everyone get your GGs out in the chat for him, who is finished now with an SRL time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 58 seconds.
Which is really not bad for his third competitive match ever.
Right. especially because the thing is, these randomizers can really be rough, especially early on when you don't have many power-ups to work with.
Now, fortunately for both these runners, the round 2 settings tend to be a bit faster because with fortresses shuffled up and with the start point shuffled up, you can start really close to the castle, or you can get through the world's fortresses really quickly and get the locks broken down. If you're lucky in World 5, you can even start on the Sky World, I think.
I don't know. Well, I think theoretically you can if one of the early things is a pipe, and it could lead up there.
Yeah. Right, in round 1 settings, only the which pipes lead to which pipes are shuffled. In round 2 settings, the pipe positions are even shuffled.
Right. So now we'll see how exactly they're going to go about this. Normally, because the second race is technically scheduled to start in about 25 minutes. However, more often than not, whenever the runners do a double header like this, they usually just get to the second race as soon as they finish. So we'll have to see on what they decide to do.
And we're back with round 2 between sab0tender and Leslie Pro. I'm Drosy1. I'm back here with Demon Battler. Welcome back.
Welcome back. And right off the bat, look at that the seed setting. Coin, shell, coin, vine. That is an interesting pattern for this.
Vine or ice cream sandwich?
Good question. Looks like they should be starting pretty soon.
And in case you weren't here for the first one, the Seed started off really rough. 6-9 was the first level. A lot of rough levels at the start, but eventually Leslie Pro won by about 10 minutes, in large part due to somehow collecting a lot more hammers on the way than sab0tender did, and he was therefore able to skip a lot more stages. And we have a request from chat for the movie phone voice. Ooh boy. I'll see what we can do. My favorite was actually the Simpsons episode where Bart calls 911 and the movie phone guy answers, and it's like, "You have selected regicide. If you know the name of the king or queen being murdered, press 1. Anyway, just to give a brief recap of where things are, these two runners are in Group E. Leslie Pro is now 1-0. sab0tender is 0-3. There are 5 runners in the group. It's a double round robin, so each runner gets to play 8 races, and I believe the top 2 in each group go on to brackets?
I believe so.
So it's still very early and anyone has a shot.
Alright, it looks like they're just about to get started, and Leslie has muted his mic this time around, so if he ends up in the lead, we can actually switch back to his audio without problem this time around. Alright, now they're about to be...
Or at least we think they're about to. Yes, no, maybe?
Repeat the question. God, I'm old.
Okay, here we go. And World 1 starts.
And we're off, and World 1 is World 1. Ooh, okay, so the difference here for this set of flags is that we are going... the levels have been placed around and randomized, as well as the locks and the forts and whatnot. So as you can see, they're gonna still need to go through the fort in order to get rid of the lock, but they're actually able to go a fair bit farther before they get blocked by that lock. And it looks like sab0tender is taking a couple quick deaths here.
I hope he's not too tilted from the last match.
I hope not.
That was a nice bob-omb toss.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, Tabo got robbed by that micro...
And Leslie is having a bit of trouble with 7-9 over there.
Ooh. Little spike guy managed to land right on him at the wrong time. But
and now he's going for 5-7, or is that 5-6?
Leslie is currently in 5-6, which is a little, honestly, might be a little bit harder without the auto-scrolling. Because if I remember correctly, those little flying shells are on a global timer. So you actually have to wait, you have to load it and wait a certain amount of time to be able to actually jump onto it and make it. But it looks like Leslie's able to get through it, and ooh, a couple runaway chain chomps on sab0tender's side.
And Leslie goes to the first mushroom house and only gets a mushroom for his trouble. Why do you think they called it a mushroom house?
I can just imagine that being like, here, have an item, and just ripping a brick out of the house. Alright, and Leslie is currently in second fort of World 6.
And sab0tender will be joining him momentarily, I imagine. There's some nice power-ups in this fort.
Yep. Leslie managing to handle Boom Boom pretty easily. And looks like that's 5-7 that he's in right now.
And doesn't want the frog suit there. I don't blame him. See if sab0tender gets anything better out of the house. Okay, Fire Flower.
That's not too bad.
So I have to ask Micaiah if avoiding the frog suit like the plague is specifically like the plague of frogs in Egypt, or just any old plague.
Good question, actually. Alright, they're getting through pretty well. sab0tender not going for the 2 extra lives. Well, 1 extra life on top of what he's already got, but not too bad. Leslie, it looks like, did not manage to match anything on the end card this time, but was able to take care of the Sledge Brother and got a hammer for his troubles anyway. And it looks like it's the World 3 airship start off.
And sab0tender doesn't get anything out of the N house either. N card, rather. This
Alright.
is one tough Larry. I think
It
that's
is.
the full 5 hits.
Ah, right. Forgot to mention. Some of you may be wondering, why isn't Leslie or sab0tender jumping to receive the wand? Well, the thing is, with the exception of a very specific instance, jumping is actually slower because you have to watch Mario fall an extra amount of time compared to just standing on the floor. The exception being if you have P-Speed and you can fly up and hit the very top and essentially catch the wand right at the very first pixel, give or take, that it will drop into view, at which point Mario would actually wrap around and it would actually be a little bit faster. But since neither of them had a tail, that neither of them decided to bother with moving around. Instead, just caught the wand while standing on the ground.
Just to add one thing there, specifically the issue is that the wand falls faster than Mario does.
Right. Man walked into a ball. Ouch. And World 2 is World...
Is
Okay,
this even randomized?
This is some funky... this is some funky stuff.
3-5. And... oh, what is that? 3-7?
I think that's... no, I think that might be 3-4.
Okay. I always have
Wait,
trouble keeping the World 3 levels straight.
That's either... wait, that's either 3-4 or 7-3. I think that might be 3-4, though.
Nope, it's 7-3 for all that, I just checked.
Ah.
I was just in the mindset of World 3 because of 3-5
Right.
being over on the left.
Ooh, sab0tender managing to get right in between Big Bertha and the pipe, and managed to not get killed.
The fortresses have been pretty nice so far with giving stars.
Oh, definitely. On one hand, it's a little disappointing because you can't actually get, you can't get many power-ups to work with, but the star is one of the best things to get, especially when you're dealing with so many foods and swamps and whatnot. Oh, and sab0tender just Kobe'd right into the pit.
Oh, sab0tender's gonna have to watch his lives. Hopefully he can get the 5-up star at the end of this level.
Hopefully. A little surprised he didn't try to go for that last star right when Lakitu started up, but
Oh, it doesn't get the 5-up.
that's... Interesting. Leslie is bypassing, he's disregarding the end card for right now. And he's currently in 3-8. Wait, yeah, 3-8.
Yeah, 3-8, without a boss bass, so it's really not that bad.
Ooh, sab0tender was a little close with that star.
Leslie Pro goes for the coin ship, and the one up there just for safety.
And Leslie Pro gets a R from the coin ship. And sab0tender is backtracked.
And we have switched audio and are indeed not getting running commentary from Leslie Pro this time.
Another music box from the Hammer Brothers.
Uh-oh. And our runners are in the same level now.
Oh, and sab0tender once again with the Kobe.
That's just unfortunate.
Oh, it looks like Leslie might be going for the item. And sab0tender falls into the pit yet again.
So the vanilla item in this level is actually a cloud. I wonder what we'll see here today. Oh, I didn't realize this was still on auto-scroll.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Oh, and sab0tender takes a game over.
Oof.
While Leslie Pro receives a mushroom for the coin heaven. Maybe not worth the extra time necessary, but at least it was, I feel like it was at least worth checking to see. And I believe that was the World 5 airship.
It's really unfortunate for sab0tender because the lock from the fortress wasn't blocking much, so he's not really able to skip much by going through a second time.
Looks like that was a 4-hit, Morton, if I counted that correctly. And it looks like the king is realized he is from the Wizard of Oz.
Yes, King Dorothy.
And they're in World 7 now.
Oh boy, that's a headache and a half with all the pipes.
Well, that's a little less of a headache with two of them rapping to each other. Ooh, and sab0tender runs right into that Paragoomba. Alright, so Leslie will have to at least go through 2 levels in order to reach the next pipe. And
Frog suit!
Well, if nothing else, it's a free hit.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's just what he was hoping for.
Oh, I thought sab0tender was about to Kobe into that last pit again. Alright, Leslie Pro managing to get through 3-2 without too much of trouble. And sab0tender managed to get the swag kill on the 2 Boomerang brothers without either of them throwing their boomerang. Nice.
Okay. This is where sab0tender was done in last time, so let's hope he can make it through this time. Taking the high road, that's probably a good idea.
Definitely. And he manages to retrieve 5 lives out of that, which is definitely going to help him.
And Leslie Pro is just taking pipe after pipe, hoping that this one will be the progression pipe, and we see our first hand level.
Ooh, and sab0tender takes a death on those Hammer Bros. So Leslie manages to get through the cheap breeding ground, and the hands give out a typical leaf, like normal. You know what? At least it's something.
Yeah, beats a mushroom.
Oh,
that's just wrong for sab0tender. Look, I mean, I remember you can get killed that way when it looks like you should be on top of the cannonball, but that's always been a really cheap death.
He really got robbed on that. And Leslie manages to get through the army pretty easily. Oh wait, no, that was the...
That was the Marines, as you called it.
Huh. I didn't even notice the top piece.
Yeah, that's what confused me last time around.
Okay, so Leslie's going for the end card now. I guess he just didn't want to backtrack all the way in that previous world.
That's one prize out of it.
And this is another beta stage. I believe this is beta for 7.3. And now sab0tender is in the confusing maze.
Ooh, and Leslie, yeah.
So close, so far.
And sab0tender could not get that star before it drowned. We haven't seen any clouds yet, have we?
I don't think so.
Because I was thinking this would be a really good level to cloud over, but that requires a cloud.
Right. sab0tender getting out of 3-2 pretty easily. Well, thankfully with the leaf, Leslie's able to control where he's landing a little bit better. And sab0tender's checking out the end card again.
Remembers where the flower was from last time. Does not remember where the star was from last time, though. Leslie Pro has made it through the beta level on the 3rd try, and has a pretty easy time of the Piranha level.
Rick, we want a Frog Bowser kill because it's the ultimate in swag. It was enough swag, and I want to say spoiler alert, but this has been about a year now. It was swag enough to have Mitch lose the tournament at the grand final in order to try to get. So, yeah.
And Leslie Crow showing us that the Koopalings are not vulnerable to star power. Because in the vanilla game, there was no star placed in such a way that you could get to a Koopaling while under star power.
Correct. The only thing the star will do is let you not get hurt from them as long as you have it. sab0tender getting through the Marines pretty well. Hopefully Boom Boom hopefully he can take care of Boom Boom just as easily.
Why did the king want to be an Oscar Mayer wiener?
Because everyone would be in love with him, maybe?
Fair enough.
Oh, that pipe was pretty good.
Yeah, about halfway through the world. Maybe a third of the way through. Either way, good advancement.
Oh, and... Okay, and Leslie managing to avoid the dirty sock. And gets a P-Wing. See, kids, this is a good way to show that you will get rewarded for doing your laundry.
And sab0tender makes it through the beta level on his first try.
Very nice.
And has taken no chances with the Piranha world. Oh, and we have...
I believe that was Fort 3-1. Yeah, the first fort in World 3 for Leslie.
Yeah. I was trying to remember whether that was 3F1 or 3F2.
I believe 3F2 is the underwater fort.
Yes. Oh, another 1-up sitting in there.
And Ludwig showing off his questionable hitbox.
And Leslie's going after Hammer Bro after Hammer Bro.
Sometimes stockpiling items this early on can definitely have a good impact. So as you guys saw, sab0tender made a slight jump to collect the wand, and it took a little more time because he had to actually fall along with the rest of the stage in order to transition. So, Leslie back in 7-2.
Oh, and he didn't make the jump this time and is gonna...
Yeah,
boxed in by the notes.
Unfortunately, the only way to bypass that in one go is either to have a tail or to have P-Speed, which there is a strat to get P-Speed, but it's fairly difficult depending on the enemy placement, and it usually requires a star. Ooh, sab0tender getting hit by a hotfoot I didn't even notice.
Neither did he.
Well, he was able to get rid of Boom Boom, so no harm done. And Leslie into the Sky Fort.
Okay, now sab0tender's memory is coming back to him.
See, I'm of the opinion that whether you can memorize the patterns or not, I feel like it's always a good idea to have some kind of notepad or something. That way, if you have to go through it multiple times, then you can at least try to clear out one card and see what it gives you. Speaking of which, Leslie is going back to his end card. Ooh,
And
Sab
he's also remembering some stuff from last time.
sab0tender managing just enough time with that star to get that last boomerang brother. And Leslie is in, I believe, this might be, I think this is 3-1.
Yeah.
And took care of Bertha, no problem.
sab0tender taking a power-up detour here. I don't blame him.
Not at all. 7-2 is very difficult, regardless of the randomizer. And Leslie is currently now into the Air Force.
Which is so much easier when it's not an auto-scroller. There's still some tough jumps, but when you have control over the screen movement, it just becomes a lot easier to do them.
Definitely. Ooh, and dodging the wrenches really well. And sab0tender getting through the level.
But decides he doesn't want the 5-up.
And now Leslie is in the, I believe that is the World 6 airship. So, that's another vanilla stage.
Oh, and sab0tender goes to all that trouble to get the leaf and then doesn't make the jump.
That's disappointing.
But at least now he knows where the power-up is, so he doesn't have to hit all 6.
Right. I believe that might have been a 5-hit for Lemmy.
I don't know, but it was impressively fast considering he got, like, no balls out.
Right. Alright, sab0tender getting revenge and taking care of Boom Boom.
And the king doing a Groucho Marx impersonation. Oh, and we see our first cloud. Halfway through the game and we get our first cloud.
Yep. And, oh, hey, that's an interesting placement for the pipe. And Leslie gets yet another hammer. I believe that makes 3?
Yeah, we've been collecting quite a few.
That was a bit of an odd pathway.
Does he not like that level?
I don't know. Maybe he's checking. Maybe he's going to check the pipe and see where that leads.
sab0tender's onto the Air Force here. Just needs to watch his jumps.
Oh, that was actually a good move on Leslie's side, because now he doesn't have to worry about going through those 2 levels to reach the castle. Alright, Leslie manages to get through the first room of the carpet fort, and narrowly dodges the dry bone.
And the dry bones just kind of march off the screen. I guess because the game doesn't expect them to be there, it doesn't have AI to have them turn around.
I guess so. Okay, so it broke that lock, but Okay, so it broke that lock. I'm assuming then the... Yeah, so he's going to have to go through that next level in order to beat that castle, create that bridge.
By the way, that was a 4-hit Lemmy.
4-hit, okay. And Leslie is P-winging over 7-6. I do not blame him whatsoever. Now, the reason Leslie is doing this, despite having hammers, is because hammers can break locks, and they can break rocks, but they cannot build bridges. And unfortunately, they have to build a bridge in order to get to the castle in this world.
So sab0tender's also finding out the weird layout of the world, that he's right by the finish but can't get there because no bridge.
Right. Well, Leslie managed to get the upside down orb again. And Leslie picking up a couple items out of the end card.
Oh no, sab0tender released that donut and... Oh, wow, he recovers. That was
clutch. I did not even know that kind of recovery was possible. And honestly, I'm willing to bet he probably didn't know either. That was probably a leap of faith. Leslie is...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Leslie is in the World 7 airship. Oh, and misses the jump.
Takes a long fall.
Interesting. sab0tender actually uses a cloud to skip that level and go straight into the port.
Odd call. I mean, is he going to cloud over it again? I would have just used a P-wing at that point.
Same.
I'd rather burn one P-wing than 2 clouds.
So he may not know that you can actually P-wing over it.
But that was a Nintendo Power back in the day. That's not like a recently discovered glitch or anything. Nintendo Power told us all.
I guess he really is just gonna cloud over it twice.
Wait, I didn't see a P-wing. Does he not have one?
Maybe not. Well, there's another cloud, so it's not as harmful for him now. Maybe? The vessel with the pestle had the pellet with the poison. I do not remember where that's from, but I know I've heard that before.
Danny Kaye, Inspector General.
Oh, okay. So many old movie references.
Yeah, they I guess Fred really likes his 30s and 40s movies.
Yep. Oh, and sab0tender missed the jump, too.
That was exactly how Leslie did it.
I'm actually a little surprised to see that Leslie's doing this as opposed to going back and checking the other pipe. Because the other pipe might lead to the castle. Unless he's worried that it's going to be blocked by a lock or something.
Oh boy, that was low, Great White Hope.
Oh, that is harsh. Alright, Leslie managing to take care of the the Hammer Bros. And it looks like sab0tender is going to be a little more careful with where he's jumping. Alright, sab0tender manages to finish the level, the world, and it looks like Leslie is back in the 5.3 beta again.
I'm sure he just loves being, and yeah, I saw that coming with how the cheat sheet was going.
I knew that was gonna happen. Oh, I guess maybe either Leslie had checked the other pipe and I didn't realize, or maybe it was just a lucky guess on his part.
Wow, that's really quick through.
So Wendy's in the World 4 airship. And those lifesavers of Doom are not doing him any favor.
But he gets past it.
And sab0tender managing to take care of Boom Boom. This seed is definitely working out a lot better for them.
I just wish, we knew what the king had been before, that he would rather be that.
Good question.
Because they removed the cutscene before going on to the airship.
sab0tender managing to handle the Hammer Brothers in a difficult terrain and gets a star.
And sab0tender's in 4F2, which I don't think Leslie Pro went through, so I think it's unnecessary. But unfortunately, he didn't realize that.
Now, I didn't get a chance to take a good look at the map. This is going to be interesting because depending on how the pipes and everything are set up, this may not actually lead to the sky part.
It did.
Okay, it did. Oh, well, he's able to bypass a Hammer Brother. Ooh, and he was able to break the lock, so that's nice. And immediately runs headfirst in 7-8. Leslie wisely using a cloud to skip that 7-8 and just go straight into the World 2 airship.
And sab0tender's now in our beta level, so he must be getting close to the end of the world.
And it looks like it's a 5-hit Roy. Definitely a fairly quick World 5 this time around.
At least some world is quick. Yes, as opposed to thank you, Link, you're the hero of Hyrule. And here is World 8.
And the Air Force has been randomized into the World 2 fort.
Oh, and Wendy has earthquake power. I don't think... Oh,
and the lifesavers got him.
I don't think I noticed the earthquake power when Leslie was going through.
I didn't notice it either.
Yeah, so there will always be 2 Koopalings in the game that have Earthquake power, but it's randomized which 2, except it can't be Lemmy.
Well, actually, it can be randomized into Lemmy, it's just that Lemmy will never be able to utilize.
And then you're just lucky because there's only 1.
Right. So it's Earthquake, Wendy. The question is, how many Baconators does she enjoy for this fight?
And of course, she had to be 5 hits,
4.
but sab0tender gets... I think that was 5.
Maybe so. I guess that was. Huh.
Leslie's really making good use of all his stocked-up hammers.
Oh, definitely.
Wow, this is like...
And Runaway Chain Chomp.
That is a
Ooh,
crazy 6-8.
Good lord. Runaway Chain Chomp, Spike Shooter, and Fire Nipper. All in one. Wow. Okay, so yeah, looking at the map on sab0tender side, okay, yeah, the tower definitely had to go up there. And Leslie is now in 342, Waterworld.
Even worse than the Kevin Costner movie of the same name.
Debatable. As far as I'm aware, this castle didn't cost Bowser millions of dollars. And 3 extras.
Hey, you don't know how much those thwomps were paid.
Good point. Leslie grabbed by the hand, and it's 6-9 again. And he's only gonna give it 1 try before he goes into.
Wasn't a very long try. Yes, good point, Joe Gamer. At least we did not have to sit through anything the length of a Kevin Costner movie.
True. Oh man, look at all those pipes. Look at all those fireballs that sab0tender has to deal with.
Yeah, very good dodging work on his part. Oh, and...
Yikes.
Dodges everything, except for the pit.
Yep. It looks like Leslie is in the Navy.
In the Navy. And sab0tender has said that's enough of that and goes the P-Wing route.
Which I do not blame him. So Leslie taking care of Boom Boom. And it looks like, ooh, okay, so it looks like he's going to take a couple extra forts out just for safety reasons. And he ended up in 8 forts.
Which is charming if you like conveyor belts.
Well, it looks like sab0tender had some Hammer Brothers dancing around on the ground level. Sorry, Wolfman, I don't even know the lyrics. And Leslie was not able to get the one-time door.
And he didn't even... Oh, yeah.
That's
Figured
true.
it would be easier to just run underneath the small Mario.
Right. And Boom Boom taken care of. And sab0tender is now getting out of World.
Okay. Since Vic's requesting it. If you know the world that Mario is currently in, press 8.
There we go. Okay, so there was actually a bridge needed. And it looks like they did.
Oh, Leslie's doing frog.
There was no hammer suit available, so Leslie's gonna go the frog strat.
Oh my.
The only downside is he cannot do the everyman clip because of that. Well, one of many downsides, rather, but
think of the lulls.
Yep.
Oh well.
Oh, never mind. At least you tried.
So I guess we'll see when sab0tender gets to Bowser, but I don't understand why he has an aversion to taking that high route.
Good question. And it looks like Leslie is into Bowser. So, best case scenario, 5 jumps and Bowser will be dead.
Oops. Didn't duck long enough. Or maybe just got tired of ducking.
Might have also been in a bad spot, because I know, like, whenever Bowser goes to shoot the fireballs like that, if you're close enough to his mouth, fireball will still hit you.
Oh. That makes sense.
And bye-bye, Bowser. Ah, Wolfman's got a good point. The bottom route gives him a chance to get a power-up. So, get your GGs out in the chat for Leslie Pro, who is finished with an official SRL time of 44 minutes and 19 seconds.
GG. So the only thing about that was last time sab0tender was doing it with a hammer suit, so he definitely didn't need a power-up.
Right. Look at that! sab0tender managed to get through 2 of those hand stages without taking a hit.
Could have played that seed better, but for what it was, did pretty good. But once the 30-minute mark hit, the bell went off in my head, so it was time to go. Anyway,
Well, I guess we get a little pre-interview with Leslie there.
Yep. Once again, I thought that was you for a second, and to remind me to switch the commentary. And it looks like sab0tender is getting into the Navy, so he's not too far. He wasn't too far away at all.
Yeah, it's not going to be a 10-minute difference this time.
sab0tender entering 4-3. Ooh, taking a slight hit on that bomb.
And we have Leslie Pro in here with us. GG.
GG.
thanks, guys.
Ooh, and sab0tender still has that bridge he has to unlock.
So, what were your thoughts on this seed? A bit less crazy than the last one?
Yeah, a little bit less crazy. I figured I'd try something different and give the end card a go, which, well, the usual pattern that I've been using for this tournament, 3x3 square, did not work out very well for this particular pattern at all. So once the 30-minute bell went off in my head, I figured, you know what? We're good. It's time to go. So I just left it. I think I found a hammer in there, to be honest.
When sab0tender taking a death.
You definitely had a few hammers, so it wouldn't surprise me if one of them was in the end card game.
Right.
Actually, I wanted to ask you from the first game, that seemed to make the biggest difference, that somehow you wound up with, like, 4 hammers and sab0tender only had 1. Do you remember where you got all those hammers from? Because I wasn't sure if it was the end card game in that one.
I'm pretty sure it's a mix of Hammer Brothers and the end card game, if I were to be honest. Because that particular seed, once after the game over, I was on tilt for a bit, as regrettably some of you might have heard. But fortunately, after that, I kicked it in gear. I just wish I hadn't game over there. But that was a weird one to take, because I thought it made the jump, but the game was like, nope, flick. Back to start. Was not happy, to say the least.
Speaking of tilt, sab0tender is having a really rough time with the board. And did you see what was at the start of that 7-1 level? It was a spitting piranha, like, with a piranha plant with the ball falling down directly on top of it.
Well, we know he doesn't need to get through 7-1.
No, but it's a hand level. He got grabbed by it twice.
I think that might have been the one that didn't grab me, ironically enough.
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it on your end.
But a 7-1 falling Patooey. Fred!
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
like,
sab0tender just didn't quite make the one cycle on the P-switch.
But yeah, that might have to be brought up to Fred, because I know it's near the very end of the level, so by that point you would think you'd have some power-ups, but even still, that might be a concern to look at, especially because that definitely could happen in an early game too.
Yeah, because imagine if that's a 7-1 with all Starmans, that would be really problematic.
Like, no joke. After what happened last week, 7-1 still is a sore spot for me, so...
Understandably so.
There we go. sab0tender managed just to get the bridge built, and now he's in the castle.
And not even gonna bother with a hammer suit.
I don't know if he actually had one.
Oh, I thought I saw one.
Oh, and he missed the jump on that.
Wow, you don't see this room very often.
Yeah, the only time, I think the last time I saw that room was Mitch Flower Power's any % no wrong warp world record.
I believe that was my last time seeing it too. Yeah,
also, to start off that first seed, I had never even practiced 6-9 wall jumps, so that surprised me. Pretty much the rest of you guys that...
I mean, we were impressed.
Then I held left.
Oh, certainly.
So,
I was certainly impressed by that. I still can't. I've tried, and it's difficult. I haven't done it yet. Ooh, and Sabo taking a fireball to the face.
Hate to see that happen. But yeah, I hope somebody clipped that, because that would be a clip well worth seeing, so I can check in to see, okay, where did I jump? So maybe I can practice the timing off that? Maybe.
Guess he didn't have a...
I think all he had in there was a frog suit. Yeah, I think all he had was a frog suit, a music box, a couple hammers, and a couple clouds.
Speaking of which, Leslie, nice swag start to Bowser's castle.
I didn't feel like going in there without a power-up, knowing how my luck had been to start the night. I didn't want to bookend it with bad luck.
Right.
Hey, whatever works.
Alright, Sabo's managing to dodge the fireballs pretty well this time around. And thankfully, since he's now aware of Bowser's hitbox, hopefully he could get through this pretty easily.
Two more jumps.
Ooh, that was a little risky, Sabo. Actually...
Yeah, why wasn't he hanging out down there? There goes Bowser.
Well, at least he was able to finish it, so... Everyone get your GGs out for sab0tender.
And sub-hour, too.
Yeah, with an official SRL time of 53 minutes and 40 seconds.
Well done.
So maybe we can get him in here and the runners can compare notes with each other.
Right.
And commiserate over that 6-9 opening.
He says he doesn't understand how World 8 works. I don't blame him. World 8 is a confusing mess.
Mm-hmm. Especially in tournament flags, too. Especially with how this one had to be routed, which is weird as all heck.
Yeah.
Well, he's in the waiting room.
Yep, so let's bring him on in. And we have sab0tender into the chat. GG, man.
Hey, GG's.
GG, sab0tender. That first siege, poof! I
Yeah.
did not like starting with 6-9, but I shocked myself by hitting the 6-9 wall jump, something I had never practiced. So I'm like, wait, what? I can actually do that?
That's awesome.
Quick note, Right Unite. It's actually impossible for Bowser to smash all of the blocks. You could theoretically get him to smash all the blocks except for the bottom row, but once he hits once he hits 2 of the bottom row, that's him going straight down.
Yeah. So, I don't know, those ones, not a bad set of seeds, I guess. But I knew that I was going to be in tough up against Leslie today. I mean, when pro is in the name, you know you're in a tough company.
Well, I think in the first seed, it was a bit of bad luck because somehow with, the combinations of which Hammer Bros you fought and end card games, Leslie wound up with a lot more hammers than you and was able to skip a lot more stages.
Right.
Ooh.
But that was offset by me taking a very unfortunate game over by just missing a jump by like that much. A jump I normally make, missed by that much. I game over after I know the route for the world, but having to replay all of it, lordy, I was not happy.
Well, the thing is sab0tender actually game overed either a little bit before that or a little bit after that, so it didn't actually cost you that much in the long run.
Yeah, I game overed in the desert at some point. Was that the second game?
Well, right now we're talking. Well, he's referring to Leslie's referring to the first seed in World 7.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there were definitely game overs on both sides in that seed.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't see that every day.
Seriously, I don't know what it is, but it seems the group stage is just plagued by horrible starts in our seeds.
Yeah, I noticed that in the previous tournament too. My first race had a pretty raunchy start that I remember. A World 2 that started with 7 F2s, 3 stages in. Ugh. That was a pretty gross one.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then what are your thoughts on this second seed? Both of you.
I like these flags a lot better. I mean, it makes it for a lot more randomization, and it's goofier, I guess, when you've got pipes and fortresses all over the place, kind of. But I don't know. It's a little more fun, I guess.
Certainly does keep things more interesting, because you never know what you're going to get world to world. Although, to be honest, that World 6, the pipes are pretty much useless, and you could only had to play really 2 of the forts if you had a hammer.
Right.
One of them, they just happen to be in the way. Well,
Yeah,
to me at least.
It seemed that I had too many hammers and clouds left at the end, and I realized I should have maybe tried to skip a bit more.
That does happen from time to time. I've had seeds where I didn't skip enough, other seeds where I skipped too much. This particular seed, I feel like I did the right amount of skipping, if that makes sense. But the real weird part of this seed was World 8. The way you had to route that is that you had 2 pipes to Bowser, but only 1 to where 2 of the forts were on normally hand bridge. So that really made for an interesting World 8, to say the least.
Yeah, so can someone here tell me how World 8 works with these second flags here? Like, what are we trying to, which levels are we trying to beat to actually get access to Bowser's Castle?
It's random. In this particular case, there was a bridge you needed to build, as I think you saw, because you went there and there wasn't the bridge at first. And so it's just some fort beating it will build that bridge.
Okay, I see. That makes sense.
Where fort also includes potentially Navy, Air Force, or Super Tank.
Right. Okay.
So in this case, it was actually the vanilla 8 fort, though not in its vanilla location. That was the one that when you beat it, built the bridge.
Okay, I see.
By the time I got to that screen, there were 2 forts left, and I wasn't going to gamble. I was just going to clear both of them, and I figured that just covered.
Yeah, I don't blame you, because nothing would have been worse than clearing one of them, going through that maze just to get back there and find out you had to go do the other one.
Save that gamble for bracket flags, I will. Should I get there, that is. It's early in group stages, especially for our group, so a lot can still definitely happen.
True.
Yeah. I mean, there are 2 players in your group who haven't even played a single match yet, so you really don't know where this is all going to wind up. But yeah, I guess the important question is, are you guys enjoying the tournament so far?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm definitely bringing down my times, so that's good. I'm feeling a lot better about how I'm playing. So maybe by the end of all of this group stage business, I might just squeak away with a win. We'll see.
Well, you really kind of just jumped in cold for
Yeah,
a new randomizer.
pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, though. Sometimes you have to just jump in cold and go through the trial of fire in order to get good.
Definitely done that myself, I have, with my first tournament, which was fall 2017, Link to the Past rando. That was a trial by fire in itself, but I kept growing, stepping away, coming back. Yeah, just the old back and forth pattern. Plus, working as many hours as I do doesn't allow for as much time as I used to have, but I take the time where I get it.
Nice.
So I think that'll do it for tonight. Any final thoughts?
Only thing I'll mention is, yes, I'm enjoying the tournament so far. I've definitely enjoyed some of the matches that I've been able to watch. Other matches I haven't quite been able to watch, be it a time commitment elsewhere, or basically just something else going on has kept me away. Because can't be everywhere at once, and there's only so many hours in a day.
Right.
But yeah, these two seeds, I'll admit, I could have done things better in both of them. So I'll have to think about it for tonight, and I'm looking at getting something scheduled for Friday as well. So that'll be something to look forward to.
And just as a reminder to our viewers, there are just going to be a ton of matches, I think, with 12 groups in the double round robin. I think that makes 240 matches in the group round of this tournament, and we're going to try to get as many of them broadcast as we can.
Yep.
It's worth noting that those matches can be on Randomania as well as Speed Gaming, so be sure to follow all the channels on the Randomania and Speed Gaming family so you can stay in the loop for the tournament.
Yes, and we actually have a big slate tomorrow, all of which have been assigned to Speed Gaming channels. The next match in the tournament will be at noon tomorrow. Amorietta versus Fred himself on the main Speed Gaming channel, and then we have a whole slew of matches between 7 and 9:30 Eastern tomorrow night on Speed Gaming's 2, 3, and 4, so check out any of those tomorrow evening Eastern time and it looks like we even have a double header, which I'll just call attention to.
It looks like 3 of them are double header. Oh, crud. I completely forgot that that mine is tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, you're part of that double header. You're going up against...
Oh, no.
You're going up against Jay Coper, and at the same time, we will be showing Classic Gamer 88 versus War on the same screen on Speed Gaming 2 at 8 tomorrow night.
That's right, when I get off work. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who missed it, that's Amorietta's second race against Fred Coughlin, the creator of SMB3 Rando. That should be really good to watch. Unfortunately, I'm at work at that time, so I'm missing that one. But trust me, it should be a good one.
And just to quickly check what else is going on Speed Gaming. Not too much left tonight. Pretty much everything's wrapping at this point. So
not so sure about that. There is on the main Speed Gaming Magic the Gathering arena involving a number of folks from the speedrunning community that's in progress.
Okay, right. It says on the schedule it's going until midnight, so it could potentially go for another hour. I don't know how long it'll actually go. It's been going since 8, so it's quite the marathon. And yes, on English language Speed Gaming, after that, the next thing will be that match we just discussed, Amorietta versus F. Coughlin at noon tomorrow. Though, if you happen to speak French, we are having another perspective tournament on Speed Gaming Français at 10 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. So, thank you again to our runners. Please give them a follow.
And thank you to you guys as well, Jurassic and Demon Battler, for doing commentary tonight. Really appreciate it. Having you guys volunteer means that we get this whole restream thing happening. So thanks, guys.
Sure, and Demon Battler, it was a pleasure working with you.
It was definitely a pleasure working with you, Drossi. I'm definitely, like I said it the other day, and I am definitely confirming it. I am enjoying commentating these pretty much more than actually running them myself. Like, this is entertaining to do. Fun.
Yeah, and it makes me glad I'm not having to go through those impossible levels.
Yeah, exactly.
You're better men than I.
So, with that, good luck, all of you, in your future races.
Thanks. Thanks for the commentary, and GG sab0tender. Good luck the rest of the way.
Same to you, Leslie.
GG to you both, and good night.